So a lot of people are asking the following question. Is it safe to travel outside the United States as a legal permanent resident? I already did a video about that when I said, yes, it is fine. But what if you have a criminal past, okay? So if you're an immigrant with a criminal past and you're too scared to leave the country, stick around with me for 2 minutes so I can tell you whether you need to be worried or not. Hello everyone, I'm attorney Lee Marvin and I have been practicing law for over 22 years and specializing in immigration law for about 13 years. My main office is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I help individuals and families from any state in the country and really any country on the planet. So again, do you want to know if you can travel as a legal permanent resident? Okay, I'm going to tell you. So basically this came up recently. 2 days ago, I had a consultation with a client who was wondering that question because it's been over 10 years since he had returned home to visit his family because he had a DUI and he was paranoid that he was not going to be admitted back into the country or that he was going to have to be deported. He was worried about it, so I sat with him and talked about his situation and explained it to him. And I told him, thankfully, the answer is yes. You can travel and you don't have to worry. You don't have to put your life on hold if you have a criminal history. But it depends on a few things, okay? Coming back into the country, 5 tips I'm going to give you if you have a criminal history and you want to leave and come back and reduce the amount of problems that you could potentially have, okay? Tip number one. Always remember that immigration customs has the absolute final authority over allowing anyone into the United States. This is true if you're a tourist. This is true if you have a legal permanent residency. This is true even if you're a U.S. citizen. They have the final say. If they think that you're at risk for the country, you're a security risk or anything like that, then they will deny your entry. So keep that in mind. That's tip number 1. Number 2 is kind of similar. You're always subject to agents' questions and approval. So they can stop you. They can ask you as many questions under the sun as they want to in order to make the decision whether to allow you back into the country, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. 3, you should know that they take their jobs very seriously, and anything you can do to make things easier for them is smart and recommended, especially if you're a legal permanent resident with a criminal history. You might not like that the government has this authority, but it doesn't change the fact that they do. So I always tell people, do what you can to make it easier for them so they can check the box and then let you go, okay? If you're a legal permanent resident with a criminal history, you should absolutely be expecting a secondary inspection with customs, and you should be prepared for that, so it shouldn't be a shock to you, and you should be prepared to explain your history, answer their questions to reduce that impact, the government's scrutiny of you. If you are prepared and you provide them the information they need, they're going to let you through and they're not going to have a problem, okay? So step 5 or tip 5 is that you can take and should take your court and criminal records with you and be prepared to explain your criminal history. Again, nobody likes answering questions of the government. Doesn't matter. You still got to do it. So if you take your criminal records with you, your court records, things that show that you did what you're supposed to, that's going to help a lot, okay? I've been recommending people do this for years, and people come back multiple times and tell me, Attorney Marvin, it worked exactly like how you said it did or would. It worked. I had no problems. They asked me, but I had all the information and I handed it to them. They reviewed it and they were good. So the government, the only thing they care about is whether somebody's a risk to other people inside the United States or violating the law. If you can show that you're not one of those people, they're not going to have a problem with anything. They're going to let you through and you're not going to have any problems. So again, if you like the information in this video, Please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell for future videos. If you have additional questions that my video did not just address, click the link below to book a consultation with me, because I would love to help you figure out your immigration situation.